You're back. We didn't scare you off. Congratulations.
We're 3 for 3.
Four.
Four.
You're
Four.
missing. You're missing your microphone now.
Oh, I'm missing my
Still
microphone.
making rookie mistakes.
Oh.
Whoops.
This is ILNL.
Welcome to ILNL. And we're doing something a little different for this show because off camera you can't see him. There's a phantom voice. Say something, phantom voice.
Something phantom voice.
That's Chico for everybody. Cousin Chad's in the building.
Howdy, folks.
And of course, Chris Cortez is in the building. So let's do the thing. So let's tackle the first couple things because some crazy passings in the world of pop culture. Toriyama-san, the creator of all things Dragon Ball and the extended universes like Sandland and Dragon Quest, passed at the age of, I believe, 68.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And on the flip side of things, where wouldn't even see that there would be a connection, but Janice Burgess,
Mm-hmm.
the creator of the Backyardigans, passed at 72. So I'll open this up real quick. I have more of a connection to Dragon Ball, but I'm gonna open it up on Backyardigans first. So anyone, like, your thoughts?
So, the Backyardigans. That Backyardigans kind of means a lot to me, especially being an educator. I first realized that many of my students, watched it. I think, I believe, I first saw it on social media, right? And so what I did was sometimes like to get my kids' attention, especially in aftercare, because sometimes I had the low people, and I played the theme song, and the kids got right along with it, and it was just like, and it cranked, you know what I'm saying? And then sometimes like I watch some, because being an educator, you want to see what your kids are watching. What are your kids into, right? Thank goodness the little people, they were, still into the innocent things. So sometimes I would watch some stuff on YouTube, watch some of the clips on YouTube. I'm like, oh yeah, okay, cool, yeah. And then the characters have, traditional Black names, and it's just like sane. You know what I'm saying? Kids really get to relate to Black kids. Really get to relate to cartoon characters that look like them, and that still keep them childlike. So to me, this means a lot to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, she meant a lot to me, means a lot to me. Her show means a lot to me, because it's one of those things like the babies still have that innocence in them. Like, I play it for my kids for aftercare. Like, sometimes, like, my kids are, oh, I want to hear the Backyardigans theme, and I play it for them, and they just love it when they playing on the playground. So,
Chico.
Yeah.
Excuse me. I've only ever seen a few episodes of it. I think when it came along, most of the little ones that I was around had outgrown it by that time, which kind of sucked because it was, from what I've seen, was a really good show. And in slight relation to Dragon Ball, all the characters were animals, but you could tell they were Black.
Well, there is one person, it's Pablo.
Yeah, Pablo.
So there's Uniqua.
So it in relation, it kind of reminded me of how everyone claims Piccolo as Black.
True.
Like we relate to Piccolo. So yeah,
that's actually a really good segue into talking about Dragon Ball. So, Chad, I'll actually throw this one to you. What was your thoughts on the passing of Toriyama-san?
So I'll just say, like, when Dragon Ball Z came out on television, I was still in middle school, I believe, going into high school. And so the big thing was, especially when the what was it, Vegeta series came out, that was huge. Then Frieza, when Frieza came and they battled Frieza, that was like when that hit the streets. Like, there's certain impactful things of that time that I just remember, and then the Cell games and so on and so forth, and watching Goku turn into Super Saiyan for the first time. Like, you remember where you were, and so I think it's going to be an iconic loss for the culture, for even blurred culture, because we resonated with it so much, and then it just transcended cultures. So yeah.
I think I will add to that. Thinking about the first time that I was exposed to Japanese anime, and one of the big things, of course, was Dragon Ball on Toonami. And that was a big introduction for me. Shonen Jump was a big introduction for me for manga. And then, of course, I think where I really took a liking to Toriyama's work was Tobal 1 and 2, which was released by Squaresoft at the time on PlayStation. So while my affinity to his work was game based initially, like that's where I really fell in love with the style. Dragon Ball Z was where I really took on to, like, this is a part of not just Japanese culture, but our culture, blur culture. Being in the library at Ellington, bringing in VHS from big respect to Creature Zone, and bringing in a lot of the anime that was a part of the work of the anime and all of that. Just, yeah, hearing that on IGN was kind of crazy, and then learning about Miss Burgess kind of put a lot on top of that. So rest in power for both of you, because, like, the work transcends, and I think even beyond pop culture, there's a big contribution to the culture as a whole that these creators have made for us. And just ending off on this, with Toriyama, they're working right now on the next Dragon Ball series that he had a big influence on, and unfortunately he won't get to see the fruits of his labor on that, so that's a little sad. But for both of them, may they enjoy their eternal rest.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Couldn't have put it better.
So let's move forward. Tyson. Tyson's fighting Jake Paul. Go ahead, Chris. You feel like
The way his facial expressions just lit up.
Yeah, the energy. Go ahead, take it.
Beat him. Beat him. Beat him. What are they saying? What is it? Kill Bill? Tear them apart. Like, yes. Work. Yes. Get him. Because Jake Paul irritates my soul. Like, just his antics throughout the years, his arrogance, it's just like, ugh. Yeah. Humble him, Mike. Please humble him.
Now, just jumping in on that.
Go lay down. Go lay down.
There's the possibility that this is just going to be an exhibition,
Mm,
not a full-on prize fight. Chico and I were even talking about this off camera, that just like the previous Tyson fight where he fought Roy Jones Jr., where both of them are obviously past their prime, it was like two old guys saying, "I still got it," and they're shadow boxing. But here you have Jake Paul, who's legitimately fighting people.
true.
He lost to, I can't remember who he just lost to, and it was a big fight too. Was it
He actually
Floyd
lost.
Mayweather? Was it Floyd?
No, he did. He lose to Floyd?
He lost to someone that
I remember
humbled
that
him.
being kind of controversial.
Well, it was
entire
an
fight.
honest fight. Either way, it exposed him.
Tom Fury.
Fury.
Tommy Fury.
Oh, Tommy Fury. Okay, yes. Either way, I can't fully believe that this is going to be a real fight.
So
Mm.
the way I feel about it is I'm anti the fight only on the simple fact of like Paul spoke this into existence like years ago
Mm.
Yeah.
about fighting
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mike
he's been
Tyson.
wanting this fight.
Yeah.
And now it's kind of like Mike Tyson is legitimizing him as a fighter, and
Mm.
I just it's not a good look for like Mike. Like what does he gain other than possibly showing that yeah
I
he
think
still
he
has it, but
or he can stay
he
in a ring with somebody like Mike.
exactly. So
Mm.
it's giving him too much legitimacy, and for Mike it's a lose-lose situation.
Is it though?
In
Really?
fairness, boy's good.
He's a
He's
fighter.
an a-hole.
He's a
Can't
fighter.
stand him,
Yeah.
but he has skills. And I think Mike, being the person he is more so just recognizing the skill.
But is he a tacticianer? Like, he's not of the same defensive class as a Floyd Mayweather Jr. as y'all just brought up? Like he seems like he's more so a brawler slash boxer, and I just yeah, for me it seems like someone with privilege who has money and access is now training to be a boxer, and it's cosplay boxing for me.
I'm
Hmm.
on the opposite side of that argument.
Mhm.
I agree with you though that with see I like him so less that I don't even care about his name. Jake Paul.
Yes.
The whole thing with Jake Paul, I'm gonna give credit where credit is due. He put in the work. He put in the work. Does it mean that he's putting in the effort to have really good fights? Not really. He's cherry picking his fights.
But I mean,
My dude, what's my dude's name?
Nate,
Um,
which one?
he's used to be with ESPN. He was on Showtime. Bumani Jones.
Oh yes.
Bumani Jones exposed him on his show
Yes.
for being the person that he is, and that's where I'm like, if you're truly about what you say about what you say you're about, everything good, bad, or indifferent, you take it.
Mm.
And he showed his inability to be genuine in a way that you're like you're really about who you're talking to and who you're representing and all that. On Tyson's side, he said it himself that he's all about the sport of boxing, anything to promote the sport of boxing, especially because of the whole thing with UFC becoming more popular than boxing. He's a purist. He wants the boxing to survive. But yeah, fighting Jake Paul. That's where I kind of agree with you. The whole thing of like, Tyson, you got nothing to prove.
It really doesn't.
I
It
feel
really
like at
doesn't.
his as sometimes we say Nigerians at his big age, he should be more of a advisory role.
Big age.
He should be more of an advisory role, or even like actually like I understand promoting the boxing, the sport of boxing, but I just feel like there's many more ways you could go about that without traveling down this road. To me,
for Tyson though,
I believe so. In this age, like he could really be like a scout, like finding the next big talent, like actually, and then training said talent to then re-legitimize the sport of boxing. Because I mean, I remember watching Friday Night Fights on ESPN, and all the big fights. I mean, shoot, I was born on the night of a Tyson fight. Fun fact: it was a Friday.
which fight?
The October 16th one in '87.
87. So, oh man,
Yeah, but I was
I
born
am
on that.
that much older than you. Wow.
But yeah, I was born on the night, and so I feel like
that's
It-
not Spinks. I don't know.
no, I don't think that was Spinks. If Tyson does not win, then I would feel how he felt when he saw Larry Holmes beat Muhammad Ali. And that's why he ended
I
up
understand.
fighting Larry Holmes. You get what I'm
I
saying?
understand. I understand.
So
I can't.
Tyrell Biggs.
yes,
Biggs.
it's the Biggs Tyson.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying on that. So I guess the question is, hey, y'all coming around for fight night?
Does it fall on a Saturday?
More than likely.
I think so. It's June.
Well, I don't know because we're all pretty capable of watching it.
That's right, because it's going to be on Netflix.
Oh yeah, it is going to be, and
It's
that's
a part of that Netflix deal. Yeah.
Now I don't know how
I think
it
that would be
works.
more interesting in kind of seeing this new evolution of streaming
So wait.
boxing. Yeah, it's going to be on Netflix.
Netflix is streaming now.
Netflix made a lot of deals, especially with the NFL and
That's true.
WWE.
Yeah, and
Oh
WWE.
my God.
So they're
so
now
this is why my
competing.
prices keep going up.
Oh yes.
Oh, yes.
Absolutely.
Could be.
I didn't ask for this.
No, but they're giving it to you.
No, they're not. They just didn't give.
They're adding it to your plate.
They're giving you
Like-
giving you the privilege of choice.
At least Hulu gives you the opportunity. Like, hey, do you want ESPN? Do you? I do not.
Good day, sir.
Good day, sir.
Well, speaking of the WWE,
Sorry.
perfect segue.
Wow.
So, what did you think of what of the Cody Rhodes slap heard around the world?
Baby, listen, bruh.
Yeah, 'cause
that
you guys
right
have
there-
been out of the wrestling game for a while.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
So-
I communicated
Mhm.
prior to taping that last time I was involved or actively involved in wrestling was when Wale was down in Dallas for WrestleMania. That was the last time because I also saw Wale at a pop-up concert. Shout out to Wale, hometown hero.
Hey,
Hometown hero?
yeah,
You gonna give that to Wale?
Yeah, it's very difficult to make it from out here. Like, I think everybody who's raised here knows how difficult it is for artists.
like
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Can I go on a little bit of a tangent?
oh yeah.
Small
Sure.
tangent. Small tangent.
I'm-
Okay. I'm sorry. I give love to Wale because he represents the DMV.
Mhm.
He doesn't represent DC.
Ooh.
He's from PG.
shade.
That's all I have to say. After that, Wale, I love your first album. The joint that he did with Lady Gaga that made it on whatever game that I played.
Na, 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 na.
Yep.
Ooh, can't.
Yep.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
that track. I was like, I love that. Okay, please
Well,
continue.
Wow.
No, but my
I
last.
was thinking of another DC artist that hasn't popped, but he had
Go
a
Leaf.
chance. Go Leaf. Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
Um.
Yeah, it was question mark style.
Yep.
Hmm.
Well, my last interaction with wrestling was actually with you all, like my strong, like because that was my
Oh,
first.
when we
That
went
was
to
my
AEW.
AEW. That was my first.
Yeah.
That was my first wrestling match.
Oh wow.
First and only wrestling match. Was it
And-
last year?
Chico, that was last year? Yeah, it had
Yeah.
because it's 2024.
Yeah.
We're just in the year. This last
It's
year.
like, is it 20? Yeah, it was last year. So I had a great time. It was cool to see like kind of like the behind, not necessarily behind the
You got to
scenes,
like
but it
see
was
the
like
performance.
see the actual performance. Like,
Yeah.
oh, okay,
That's what it's
turn
like
up.
being live. Yeah.
So yeah, I had a good time. Yeah,
So
but
back to the slap.
Right.
yeah, sir, I want to see The Rock's physical rebuttal.
That's a
Hey,
good one.
That's
I
good
might,
job.
that's a
Good job
keeper.
on that. Good English.
Physical
Good use of
rebuttal.
Thank you.
English.
Did you get into a fight? I got into a physical
Physical rebuttal.
rebuttal.
Good use of
Kids,
English.
if you're watching,
English.
Right.
physical rebuttal.
I mean, technically, Cody was a physical rebuttal.
That's true. That's true.
Rock
because
slapped him
earlier,
first.
earlier
at
there was a
press
slap by the Rock.
conference.
Yeah. So that being the case is kind of like, and I think the way the look on the Rock's face was kind of, I think he thought about that. Like, he got me back.
Hmm.
He got me back.
You felt it.
I saw it in his face. It was just like, okay. So how he responds is, anybody's guess.
But can we get into the line that led to Cody's physical rebuttal? Because he called him a mistake.
You were a mistake.
Yeah. He's
Yeah.
like, so you're the youngest of the three. Yeah.
22-year separation.
Your sister, she's a cheerleader for the Dallas Cowboys.
Mhm.
And your brother, he's going to be a full-time, he's
A
going to be
future
a
Hall of
future
Famer.
Hall of Famer, right? Okay. And you're like 20 years younger than your siblings, right? Yeah. So it means you were a mistake. And it's like, oh.
Your face.
Sir.
Your face.
There's 20 years difference between me and my baby brother.
Oh, wow.
I'm not gonna follow that up with what The Rock said.
No, he was a surprise.
So Cody was. So Cody was a surprise.
Right.
Surprise,
It's my part still work, baby.
So like the build up was so good. Like it's for me. I think there's certain things that's like, that they're scripted beats, and even with this beat here, like The Rock was on the opposite side of the ring. He purposely walked around Roman to get in front of Cody, and like the whole thing of I dare you to do something. I triple dog dare you. And then
Yes.
it's a great sell.
Yes. Less than a month away. WrestleMania is going to be exciting.
Yeah. So I think I agree with you, Chris, on the whole thing of the look after. Because it felt as though, yeah, you're going to slap me. That's the beat. But then it's how you sell that what was the phrase you used?
Physical.
The physical rebuttal.
Thank you.
Mhm.
The sell of the physical rebuttal sold the whole promo. I loved both of your reactions on that. That was priceless, and I wish I could have got that on camera. That was dope. But yeah, that snapshot there is the one that they use as the thumbnail on YouTube. And as soon as I saw it, I had to click it.
Makes sense.
I had to click it. So good. So good. But yeah. So being that wrestling has been out of your lives for some time, did this promo sell you on WrestleMania?
Of course.
Chris?
No.
I like to hear the pro and con. So
Like-
hold on. Hold that. Why did you say yes, Chad?
I can't speak for Chris, but when I was a child, I was heavily invested in in wrestling. And then even when people would say wrestling was fake, blah 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 blah, yeah yeah, yeah. I more so saw wrestling in their timelines for the most part as people see like soap opera, but like more dramatic, more physical, that sort of thing. And I
Right.
even had that wherewithal as a kid. So now you have one of the people who, while I was heavily invested as a kid, The Rock coming back and then now is in the management role slash back to the got his villain crown on. I mean, that was enough for me.
Chris.
Hmm. It's funny you should say that because I always used to say like wrestling. So wrestling, I grew up watching wrestling like Junkyard Dog, Ultimate Warrior, Macho Man Randy Savage. I was watching it. I remember the moment in the barbershop when
Yeah.
it was Marty Jannetty and Shawn
Shawn
Michaels.
Michaels.
Yes,
Yeah.
I remember the barbershop. Jake the Snake with the narcissist, Lex Luger, like all that. So, but as I got
I love it
older,
that you said the narcissist. That's a deep cut.
but it's like as I got older, you know, I kind of veered away from it, and I tried to get back. Like my cousin tried to get me into it, and I was like, "This is a straight man's soap opera." Like,
Oh
okay,
yeah. Oh yeah.
but it was just too dramatic for me. I was like, "What? Like, what is this?"
Attitude Era was probably your era
Yeah.
because that would have that
When we were in high school.
yeah that's when they went a bit more. It
Or
was
was
it was
that when
less
you
melodrama.
stopped?
It
I
was
think
more
that's when I
shock value.
stopped. Like
Yeah.
so I tried to get back into it. I was probably like my first or second year of college, like early 2000s, and I was just like, what?
Yeah.
And I was just like, nah. But now that Ted does bring it up, like as far as, you know, first of all, I didn't even realize The Rock was a villain.
He heel turned when he came back.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
he tried to be face, and then they screwed up a lot of things. And I'll say this to camera: thank you, Triple H, for fixing this storyline.
Mm-hmm.
So that he had the insight to say the only way this is going to work, you need to go back to being heel, and they found the way to give him motivation.
In case you guys didn't know, Vince McMahon is gone because what? Sex trafficking?
Sex trafficking.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sex
Yeah.
him and Brock Lesnar are entangled in that whole controversy.
Yes.
Yeah.
what's
so
the name of the furniture company?
furniture company.
Starts with a W, I think.
Wayfair?
Wayfair. T is allegedly. But that's how I first heard about Wayfair. They were saying that like how people they were put in orders from like Wayfair, like, oh, I want a say a lawn chair or whatever, and that meant
Oh, that was a
certain
code
type
for
of code
something.
for something else. So that's actually how I first heard about Wayfair.
Wow.
So I was just like, that's when, and then all of a sudden, shortly after the whole, who's the guy and Giselle, the guy they said he didn't kill himself,
Jeffrey
Epstein.
Epstein, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden, you know, after that started coming, everything started coming out. Wayfair starts putting on all these commercials. You got Kelly Clarkson, and I'm just like, sus.
Damage control. I mean,
Sus.
allegedly.
Allegedly, damage
Allegedly.
control.
Okay.
So, but yeah, wow.
Yeah. So the whole thing is it's a really big,
'Cause he was just-
it's a big story that we can't really get into here.
Right, but they were
But,
just in
but yeah,
the,
that's a end product of that whole thing.
because he
of
was
The
just
Rock
on
coming back.
social media the end of last year.
Who?
Vince McMahon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
everything came out.
but this
like
is
the
like,
start of this.
like but he was on stage. Like I didn't even
Yeah,
hear
'cause
about
he-
that. But I just started like,
He basically came back, screwed some stuff up, but his main goal was to sell the WWE to TKO. And after he did that,
Him got
oh,
exposed.
came out.
Like whistleblower came out, and that messed up storylines. It messed up promos. It messed up people's careers. So now the cascading thing is they needed to have a nice person come up on TKO.
No
That's The Rock.
shade, and I don't, you know, I feel for those who, you know, whose careers got messed up or what have you. But sir, if you're doing this type of stuff, suffer.
I don't know how that's going to turn out. But it's a great segue for things happening to people and dealing with large sums of money.
I see. That was good. That was
Nintendo sued the makers
Good.
of the Yuzu emulator, which emulates Nintendo Wii U, and Switch, I believe. Maybe just the Switch. But they put the kibosh on them and said, hey, you're breaking our copyright. Shut it down. And so the Yuzu creators said, look, we'll give you 2.4 million. We'll take everything down. We'll give you all our code and just go away. But what this has now done is reopen the can of worms of the legitimacy of emulation and preservation for games and all that, because the flip side of the thing is emulation does open up the world to piracy. So it's a double-edged sword. But the way that Nintendo went about this opens up a bigger can of worms of the rights and privileges of owners of games. I guess depending on which side of the fence you decide which one's bigger, that's what happened. And now the big argument is, what do we do from here? So I'll throw this at Chico first. So what's your thoughts on this whole fight over emulation and $2.4 million?
I mean, okay. There's a meme going around about how game companies are saying you don't technically own anything that you buy from us.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
In which a consumer replies, so piracy isn't stealing.
Saw that.
And so, yes, at this point, that's all I have to say.
Since we got the camera on you,
Wait, so hold on.
should I come back to you?
No. I'm trying to figure out, like, so the piracy isn't stealing.
Hold on, I'll
The-
show you the meme.
The
real
whole
quick.
argument that this is
Because I
and that
heard
kinda
about
brought
it,
to
but I
you
was just
about
like,
how games now pretty much is license, not ownership, because you're not actually owning something.
oh, so
physically.
yeah. So if you're doing piracy, then you're not stealing because we technically still don't own the game.
that's
Correct.
the argument.
Oh.
But let's be honest and real. It's the whole thing of
Send me
access
that,
to the
please.
code and financial damages. Like this came about because of the Legend of Zelda.
The newest one, yeah, not Breath of the Wild.
No,
It's the
dang,
I know what you're talking about.
it's not Twilight Princess. I can't remember the name of it. Either way, the whole thing of that game releasing sometime earlier than its release date, and the Yuzu guys updating their emulator and putting it behind a paywall.
Oh, Tears of the Kingdom.
Tears of the Kingdom. Putting it behind a paywall so people would pay for the privilege in order to emulate the game. That means they were making money off of their emulator. If it was still free and open source, who knows what would have happened. So that's where that came from. At least speculation.
So there was this other meme that's out, and it's funny. It said it said Activision paid their CEO $155 million, and Nintendo paid their CEO $2.51 million, and so it was kind of like a pat on the back to Nintendo. So somebody replied, and it said, being serious for a second, this is a perfect example of how Nintendo is able to allocate resources appropriately. Rather than the CEO being paid an extra $152 million, the money can go towards what Nintendo has become known for, its lawsuits against gamers. And I think that is,
Yeah.
they hit it right on the head.
Yeah.
As much as I respect Nintendo for always wanting to protect their IP.
Mm.
Because, I mean, let's be realistic across the board. Nothing in gaming is bigger than Mario.
It's true.
Nothing. The closest was Sonic.
I mean, Nintendo has went and bought the rights to a porn parody of Mario just so it would never see
So they
light
could
of
protect
day.
it.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Nintendo doesn't play when it comes to their IP. They'll do whatever to protect it.
And not to be on Nintendo's side when it comes to this, but one thing I do know a little bit about the law. I don't know much about the law, but I know intellectual property is only as good as you're able to protect it. So a lot of times, what may seem like in someone's infringement might be small, it's a real big deal as far as for the owners of the IP to go after it because of it's only their IP is only as good as they're willing to like go after and fight about it.
And I agree with that wholeheartedly. I always fight for the gamer because of preservation. Once the industry started saying digital download, digital download, digital download, they took away the ability to keep an archive and keep the history of the games alive.
And it makes me wonder, like, so there are these emulators that have like all of the like every last game you could think of on Nintendo, Sega Genesis, Super Nintendo. Da-da-da-da-da. So it makes me wonder, like, I wonder, like, how were they able to get all of that? Like, how were they able to archive all of those video games? Like, yeah.
Well, without getting into the technical weeds of it all, I mean, the technology has always been there.
Hmm.
To the and the 10th degree, the technology's already been there. It's a matter for the companies. What can they do to lessen the blow of their games being circulated without purchasing? I'm for the gamer.
Can I just say one thing before we move on from this topic?
Yeah.
It is extremely difficult nowadays to get a physical copy of a game.
Absolutely, it is.
And it's ridiculous. You essentially have to go hunting for it, or let me not be that dramatic, but it is
No,
extensive.
I've hunted for games.
Yeah. Because even with this, the new Mario game that I spoke about, I had to essentially just order it and have it shipped in the physical copy, instead of being able to go to any local store and just pick it up.
Well, yeah, because they've made digital copies more popular, and I don't think so. Us as adults, we kind of get um we still have the nostalgia of having that Nintendo cartridge, having to blow on it, and it's not a third, and then of course you have the PlayStation disc that you had to like get some alcohol, wipe it off, da, 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 and wait for the PlayStation to come up versus just the little thing, the little squares in space. You know what I'm saying? For the, was
Mhm.
that PlayStation 1?
PlayStation 1.
PlayStation 1. So, we had to
No, that's two.
two.
PS2.
Yeah. So, you had to, wait for all those things, whatever. So, we still have the nostalgia of like putting in physical copies. Now, granted, even some older kids, like, kids that had the DS and the PSP and da 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 da, da, they, had physical copies. All this to say that a lot of our kids did it's all about instant gratification.
Yes.
And that's what they so instant gratification. I'm not gonna lie, like I love the fact I just get to say, okay, search this game, okay, download this game, okay. 20 minutes later, I have the game, right? But like we said, like, can you play like some games? I'm not able to play it without the internet, which sucks. And I'm sitting here like, yo, I spent all this money on this daggone game, and the point of us having these portable machines, the Steam Deck or is because I might not always be by the internet. So, yeah.
Shout out to Gerald Anderson Lawson, the
The
inventor.
creator
Mhm.
of
The game cartridge.
Indeed.
yes,
Black man.
Yes,
Black
sir.
Man. All right, let's wrap up on this. So,
Dang, I can't sing the song.
X-Men, we got a date. March 20. Are we excited for the return of the Fox cartoon on Disney Plus of X-Men?
Next time on X-Men. Absolutely.
I need to finish my rewatch first, and I'll be excited.
I'm kind of irritated. I didn't see my character up there.
Which character is this?
Beast.
These?
Beast is in
in
it.
Beast is up there.
Yeah.
He saw. I didn't. Okay, maybe it wasn't in the clips that I saw. Okay, good. So I'm happy.
Assemble my X-Men.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm yeah, that's my line name, Beast. And my line brother, his line name is Nightcrawler. He could like sit up in a corner, like with like it's nothing. Just sit up there.
Well, he's not invited here.
Mhm.
No spooky corner magic.
Yeah, but yeah, I've always loved the X-Men. Of course, you know, you got people saying, "Oh, it's going to be woke." Da, da, da. Baby, did you not catch the old X-Men? Like that's one of the
They
things
had
that
serious topics in there.
and that's what I loved about it. Like, you know, being
Oh, it's because of a particular character.
what's on?
They made Morph non-binary.
Oh yeah. Right. You're right. But I thought I thought about that when I was a kid. Like I didn't say non-binary, but I'm just like, damn, Morph can like turns into like different sexes and
I mean,
everything.
it makes perfect sense. He
right.
can
Mhm.
be everything. So.
Right. Like so can what's them call it? Mystique. And then of course there's everybody tripping
Oh,
about,
yeah.
oh, Mystique, how can she, you know, they're trying to make her to be a man. Da, 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 da. Remember that's always been a thing. Remember the whole mystery behind
Oh, you know
how
the
Mystique was
you know
Nightcrawler's
what's-
mother,
yeah,
father.
Yeah. So it was never Azazel. She turned into Azazel.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So, you know what I'm saying? It's like X-Men has always been, you know, quote unquote woke. What no, we ain't gonna say quote unquote woke. Yes. We woke, we not sleep. We woke. So yeah, it's always been about that life.
I will go for a little further to say, like, we grew up in the PSA generation, which were like woke commercials. So I mean,
Don't do drugs.
right? Every
Dare.
little thing.
Dare.
This is your brain. This is your brain on drugs. Every topic
questions?
under the sun of propaganda we
Everything
would
was
preach
scaring
to.
you.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I thought I would be on fire a lot more. Just how much they preached stop, drop, and roll.
Facts.
I thought it was just a thing. Like everyone was catching on
Facts.
fire, and you had to know stop, drop, and roll.
My biggest fear was quicksand.
That too. And you know what? It's not even that
Yeah.
difficult to get out of.
Really?
Yeah, it's craziest
Yeah,
thing.
you treat it like water and just go up slowly. You float.
Yeah. I that was one of my biggest fears. Like honestly, had nightmares. Like
Because it was always about quicksand
I
and
swear
grabbing onto a
between
stick.
Dukes of
and-
Hazards and
yeah.
A-Team, everybody was up in quicksand. I'm like,
all the time. And we didn't even know the propaganda that was being presented to us.
that too.
Food pyramid.
That.
Scoffs.
The diabetes.
the government had to remind parents that they
Bombastic
had
side
children.
It's 10 o'clock.
Do
Do
you
you know
know
where
where
your
your
child
child-
is?
Yeah. Oh,
Mm-mm.
X-Men. I'm from the time that they dropped that first trailer, and they instantly pick up on the last episode, which I'm not going to talk about if people are rewatching or anything like that. But just the whole fact of how they're reassembling and giving this authority to Cyclops, and that was so gripping. I'm ecstatic for what's to come, but I'm wondering, and this is just me being an adult, I'm just wondering if I'm going to have the same feels. Because there's some things when you were a kid and it was new and it was fresh and you had that young eyes and less experience and all that, you're like, this is amazing. And then we've had however many Marvel movies up to this point,
Yeah.
television shows, Things have changed in comics. Like the entertainment factor. Um, I don't. I'm just hoping that my adult eyes doesn't ruin my nostalgia.
I hear what you're saying because the guy that played Cyclops, he passed.
I'm not sure.
The voice actor.
The voice actor. It
The
was
voice actor,
Cyclops
I think
or
he did.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
So it's like, voices like I'm mentally preparing myself. Like voices are going to change. Okay, it's not gonna be the same voice you grew up with. So it's like I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
But the fact that they put 97 on it was just like I definitely feel I can see them, giving us points of nostalgia or making, something for us.
Yeah, there'll be some fanfare.
Yeah.
So can I add just one more thing to it?
Sure.
I would say just lower your expectations because there's nothing like the anticipation for a Saturday morning cartoon. So unless you
right.
kind of situate it to where you have a ritual to where you only watch it Saturday mornings, you have to have that big bowl of cereal.
Your PJs.
Yeah, unless you go down it
Big bowl
with
of
that type
cereal
of
or
thing,
cold
I think
pizza.
you're going to be disappointed because streaming is nothing like
The life
like
is
that.
different.
And if you missed it, you missed it. And then you
Mhm.
had to wait till it went into syndication and then reruns to catch the episode. So unless you just kind of set up like a Saturday morning ritual to kind of bring that nostalgia back, then I say then yeah, you'll feel it.
You giving me the framework for me to work with. I can do that.
Indeed.
I have my Ninja Turtles PJs that I can rock and I can figure out what cereal is diabetic appropriate.
Oatmeal.
No, you gotta put
So-
sugar in it.
See, for
I can't do
me-
that.
See, for me,
And not to
say
do
it
any
was-
spoilers, but did anybody catch the newest member of the X-Men?
Don't say
Promos?
anything.
I'm just
'Cause
asking, did anybody catch it?
I didn't see anything new, so I'm gonna say no for right now.
No.
Don't say anything.
I mean, you've all pretty much have read the story, so you know.
Yeah.
But there's a character in there that is new, but no one thinks it's new.
I'm gonna watch the trailer again to see if I can spot
Okay,
it.
word.
Yeah.
No, Bishop was in the previous.
No, Bishop was
episode.
there.
Yeah, that's what I was like. He'd been there.
Yeah, it's not Bishop.
Okay, I'll look at it.
Okay. All right, let's close this thing out because we went and did a good bit of overtime, but it was a good conversation. So
Amen.
there's that. So with that, thank you guys for watching and listening as always. All the places where there's social, there's I Love Nerd Life. Catch us where you catch us. YouTube definitely. Let's run down the list. For Chris.
Peace.
For Cousin Chad.
See y'all.
Chico. And myself, Tim, and everyone else as a part of I Love Nerd Life. Thank you again for watching and listening. And this is ILNL. I want to say this one thing. No, it's not. It's not bad. It's not bad. It's not bad. I hope they do House of M. That's all I'm hoping for. I'm hoping they do House of M. It's perfect. It's perfect for House of M.
I wonder if they do Croatia.
Krakoa?
Krakoa. Yeah.
That's too
Krakoa.
far. That's too far.
Ahead.
No,
Yeah.
it's a couple of them.
But for 97 though, isn't that too far?
Actually, 97's too late for the original Krakoa. I'll explain it to y'all.
All right.
Something to ponder.